Hey folks, we are in chapter 18 of the book of John. And if you've been reading along, following along with us, I just want to say, man, thank you for tuning in each and every day. Thanks for your hard work. I hope that together you're beginning, as we walk through the book of John, you're beginning to figure out that this reading of the Bible thing, it's not as daunting as maybe you thought it was. We're in chapter 18, and I have a question for you. Have you ever had one of those dark days? I mean, those dark days where nothing seems to go your way, where it seems like everything in the world is colluding. It seems to be against you. Nothing seems to go right. It's a cloudy day, and it just seems dark every which way you turn. I mean, maybe for you, it's been a season of your life. I know I've been through those seasons. This past fall, it was a dark season. My father was passing, and it was really hard. It was hard to get out of bed. It was hard to make it through each and every day. I went through a season of my life where there was divorce in my life. And let me tell you, that was a season, again, it seemed like all of the world was up against me. Well, we are in a dark season in the story of Jesus' life in the book of John. These are the darkest days. In the life of the church, we celebrate or remember, if you will, those dark days on one single day, and we call that day Good Friday. We are at the very beginning of the story of that first Good Friday. In the 18th chapter of John, if you go to, we hear of Jesus' arrest. If you go to verse 12, it says, "Then a detachment of soldiers with its commander and the Jewish officials, they arrested Jesus." Jesus is arrested on some trumped up charges. And then Jesus is brought before Annas. It says they bound him and brought him first to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. It's in this dark season, this dark day, this Good Friday day, that we hear of Peter's denial. His first denial goes like this. There was a girl who was on duty, and she looked at Peter and she says, "You are not one of his disciples, are you?" The girl at the door asked Peter. And of course, Peter responds, "I am not." You see, we hear things getting darker and darker for Jesus. Well, then Jesus is brought to the high priest. Meanwhile, the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teachings. It just keeps getting darker. Peter then denies Jesus a second and a third time. And in verse 25, it says, "As Simon Peter stood warming himself, he was asked, 'Are you not one of his disciples?' He denied it, saying, 'I am not.' And a third time, it says, one of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him, 'Didn't I see you with him in the olive grove?' Again, Peter denied it. And at that moment, a rooster began to crow." We can feel things getting heavier, getting darker on this first Good Friday. In verse 28, it says, "Then the Jews led Jesus from Caiaphas to the palace of the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanliness, the Jews did not enter the palace. They wanted to be able to eat the Passover, so Pilate came out to them." You see, it's getting darker and darker. They brought Jesus first to the religious leaders, and now they've brought him to the Roman government. You see, the religious leaders, they want Jesus dead. And now the Roman government is colluding with the religious establishment. And there in front of the governor in some ways seems to wipe his hands of all of this. It says in verse 38, "With this he went out again to the Jews and said, 'I find no basis for a charge against him. But it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the King of the Jews?'" referring to Jesus. They shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Now, Barabbas had taken part in a rebellion. It's not only the religious elite that want to see Jesus dead. It's the Roman government, and now we hear it's all the people. All the people say, "No, not Jesus. Give us Barabbas back. We want to see Jesus dead. Everyone on this Good Friday colludes against Jesus. It was a dark day, a really dark day. But what we're going to find out is that in order to get to the resurrection, to Easter, we have to go through these dark days in the book of John. You see, there's no Easter. There's no story of Easter without Good Friday. In a sense, we could say in chapter 18, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. As people of faith, we know it's Friday, but Sunday is coming. Friends, you and I, we know those dark days. We know what Good Friday is all about. I mean, think of your life. Maybe you've had a season of dark days. Maybe your finances weren't what you imagined they would be for a season. Maybe there were tensions in your family. Maybe your kids didn't live up to your expectations. Maybe there's some dark days in your relationship with your parents. Maybe your marriage saw a season that was really dark. Maybe your employment status. It was sort of Good Friday each and every day. Here's what I think this chapter of John reminds us as people of faith who know the end of the story. It's Friday. It may be a dark day, but here's what we know. Sunday is coming. It's Friday, but Sunday is coming. People on this earth, we will know dark days, but never forget this. That resurrection, that new life that Jesus offers, it's always coming. It may be Friday, but Sunday's coming. Folks, a couple of questions for you as we wrap up today. What dark Good Friday days have you faced in your life? And secondly, how has God walked with you from your Good Fridays to your Easter Sundays, from death to resurrection? Folks, thanks for tuning in as we covered chapter 18. Look forward to chapter 19 tomorrow. Have a good one.